Now, over the years, many politicians have swapped Parliament for prime time and signed up for a reality TV show. But Matt Hancock's decision to enter the I'm a Celebrity jungle has caused quite the controversy.
In just a moment, we'll be speaking to Labour MP Angela Rayner and former politician and campmate Lembit Opik to hear their thoughts. But before that, let's take a look at tonight's episode where Matt Hancock takes on his first trial, the Beastly Burrows.
Oh! That's a load of slurry. Just poured on my head.
Wait, are you still carrying on?
Yeah.
Wait for me.
OK, come down the tunnel. Head, are you ready?
Is that your shoe? That's your foot?
Yeah, that's my foot, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
Keep going, but I can't find any stars.
Oh.
1 minute gone.
So here there's a left turn or straight on. Which way do you want me to go?
Which way do I want you to go?
Well, I don't mind.
I'm not a sat-nav, I don't know.
Which way do I want you to go?
Well, hang on, what?
I'm going left.
Right, OK.
Can you feel my foot?
Yes. Right, we've got... Oh, something's being thrown at me! I think someone was put over there.
Keep searching around.
You OK?
What?
Well, Angela and Lembit join us now. I don't think we've ever quite been in this situation before. And you look at that thinking maybe all politicians should be made to do something like this.
No, thank you.
Right, so let's start with you, Angela. Why? Why does this differ from any other politician who has agreed to go onto reality TV?
Because we should be in Parliament. Yesterday, I was in Parliament voting on the triple lock for pensioners, looking at, probity and integrity within the Home Office, and also I was at an event, about Bangladeshis in the UK who are entrepreneurs added to our economy. These things are what politicians do. My diary's rammed. I don't think you should be squirming around with maggots when you're paid to do a job looking after your constituents.
I mean, he might say, if he were here, he might say that, this is a platform where he can sort of reach his voters, that the viewing figures were incredible. He's reaching an awful lot of people by doing this.
They just want to see him eat a kangaroo's anus. They're not interested in the issues. It's not, there is times where you can get your messages across, but this is not a platform. This is about, it's that old saying, what attracted you, what £400,000 figure attracted you to go into the jungle?
Yeah.
I don't see it as something that, in all honesty, is going to give a platform for serious political debate and for dealing with the issues that we face at the moment. And I also think it's really offensive when last week the COVID inquiry, and he was the health secretary during COVID, and some serious questions about that, and people will be rightly angry that he's laughing and joking in the jungle at a time when they're actually thinking, well, what did you do to protect my loved one during that period?
Yeah. Lembit, you're a sort of friend, you know him, and Parliament is sitting. As Angela just said, there are some very, very serious issues being discussed. He has constituents who would have voted for him, who would expect him to be at work. Why should this be acceptable?
Well, Angela herself does things which aren't directly related to Parliament. You go on to the news, you do LBC, you get paid for those things. So the principle of doing things which aren't directly related to Parliament is already established. Essentially, it's about whether you can have second jobs or not. Keir Starmer's made tens of thousands, actually hundreds, over 100,000 by doing other things. So there's no objection here in principle in doing things which aren't to do with Parliament. The big question is, should he be in the jungle? And
he
Angela
is there
right.
out of the country for a month, whereas those things that you've just mentioned about the others are sort of one-off appearances or something, may take them away from their job for now. This is a month on the other side of the world.
OK, but if you add it all up, you can see that lots of politicians, probably most, will do at least 21 days of other stuff during the year. Lots of lawyers, lots of barristers go away, and they can't just walk out of the bar in the middle of a case, even if there's a vote in Parliament. So I just don't buy the fact that the reality show is in some way, in principle, different to doing those other things.
Can I just ask you then, because last night we saw in the very initial VT, one of his biggest points was, I want people to see the real me. And I think there will be a lot of people watching that will be going, well, I voted for you. You're meant to be here looking after your constituency. The best way for me to know the real you is for you to have boots on the ground right here, right now, not being in Australia.
Yeah, there is one thing that a lot of people wrongly believe, and that's that they can edit their public appearance. That's not unique to Matt. A lot of people think that. I probably thought that when I went in the jungle. But actually, I didn't think he'd get his messages across, like about dyslexia I didn't know 1 in 10 people were dyslexic until it just came up because Matt was in the jungle. So he surprised me on that. And there's a hospice I'd never heard of, St Nicholas Hospice in West Sussex. So he's actually done something which the West Suffolk. He's done things which I didn't expect were possible, but let's not pretend here. Matt's got motivations to go in there. Angela's right. He's making money out of it. Angela's got a lot of things in her register of interests which aren't directly related to her parliamentary income, and that's fair enough with me. You just can't slam people.
You've said it twice. You've said it twice now. What do you do? Can you sit here and say you have nothing in your diary that is not related to parliamentary business?
Literally, the LBC did 3 hours on political debate of the day. It was literally part of getting that message across.
Now you've clarified that. There was a moment. I don't know how long the negotiations have gone on with Matt Hancock to get him into the jungle in the first place. But then knowing what we know now, and these things don't just happen like that, it must have been being discussed. There was one moment, we all watched it on TV, when Rishi met the members of his team, and this happened. And if you were Matt Hancock at that moment, you would have thought, well, I'm done for here. I think I will go into the jungle.
Well, this is what's happened because he didn't get a job with Liz Truss and he hasn't been given a job on the front bench with Rishi Sunak. He's decided, I'm going to be a celebrity instead. Well, that's fine, but don't do it while you're trying to be an MP. An MP, you're a parliamentarian, you're not a celebrity. You have to do the day job. And the Labour Party has said that you shouldn't have second jobs. We have some A&E doctors. Of course, they have to keep their profession and therefore they do the odd shift. Now, that's an exemption, but actually your day job is a very important job.
The opposition at any time, no matter what colour it is, are extremely good at yelling resign, no matter what. No matter what parliamentary career they've got from either side, resign, get out, get out. So the whip has been withdrawn. Should he resign?
I don't think he should be spending a month in the jungle when we've got a cost of living crisis and all the issues.
Should he resign?
So he should choose. If he wants to be a celebrity, don't be an MP. If you want to be a member of Parliament, which our job is to represent our constituents and vote, we had 2 very important votes yesterday. He wasn't there for them. And we were all on a strong whip from our whips operation to say, these are important votes, you have to be in Parliament. Nobody was off apart from pairing, where if they're ill, etc. It was a very strong vote yesterday and he wasn't there for it. So this is issues around pensioners, this is issues around the Home Office, which has been in the news, and he's not there.
You don't agree, Lembit?
Angela, first of all, you maybe do LBC. There are 11 dresses in your declaration of interest. I'm not sure what relevance that has to your work in Parliament. In terms of the votes...
Sorry, what did you just say?
I have no idea.
What did you just say?
You haven't got a 100% voting record yourself. Nobody has. No politician has. So, once again, this is just easy kind of knocking him down stuff. When it comes down to it, he is the first politician in the history of the jungle to be the main event. Once again, it surprised me.
Can I come back on? Yeah, can I literally come back on that? So 11 dresses were donated to me by a company because of the misogynistic abuse that I faced about what I wear in Parliament. Should I have just sent them back and said, no, thank you, no? I declared them because I didn't ask for them, I didn't request them. These people sent them me because the women in the UK were disgusted by what these people had said about me because of what I chose to wear. That is not me going in the jungle.
No,
I didn't ask for that attention. But let's be very clear. It didn't take time out of my day to be an MP. I didn't ask for that level of attention. I didn't ask for those dresses to be sent to me. But I transparently put them in my interest also, that somebody had sent them to me.
You don't have to be here and defend yourself. That's not your role on here. We were talking about you, Lembit, talking about your friend, and in order to defend him, you don't need to trample on somebody else. But
no, I'm not trying to. I'm not actually having a go at Angela. She's perfectly entitled to have that.
Well, you were.
And literally, I have no problem with people making income and getting those donations from outside Parliament. My issue is, then don't pick on Matt Hancock for doing something which
I haven't had any interest. But my point, and I want to be very clear, I haven't got any interests outside Parliament. I don't have a second job. Anything that I've done on behalf of my constituents to further their cause. And I haven't missed votes to go in the jungle or any other celebrity.
I'm going to jump in here because there is a point I want to make. Finally, this is a report that's been released, the scale of abuse against politicians on Twitter was revealed this morning by a BBC investigation. To the extent of online abuse, more than 3,000 offensive tweets are thrown at UK members of Parliament every day. Over 130,000 tweets, about 1 in 20 could be seen as toxic. We've discussed this with you a number of times. The amount of vitriol pointed towards him at this point has been colossal. What is the role of social media and him being berated on there, and the state of any politician's mental health when it goes too far?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this about social media for a while now, and it's not just politicians. I think it can be very dangerous for a number of reasons, including young people that are on social media who are trying to find themselves and trying to find validation, and then all you hear and all you see is people pulling you apart because of what you wear, what you sound like, how you look, and I think it's very damaging, and politicians are not immune from that, you know. The amount of abuse, it's pretty clear from the report, the amount of abuse that I get is tremendous, but also women in particular, women politicians, regardless of which political party, do get a disproportionate amount of abuse, and it does infect our public debate, and it's also quite a lot of the time organised, and therefore it can warp what your opinion is of what's happening in the real world and what people are actually thinking. And you know, you get, I call it pile-ons, where you'll get a number of accounts that will pile into try and change people's version of what they think of you.
And is that just the way things are now? I mean, do we all just learn to live with that, or is there anything that can be done to sort of help that going forward?
No, I don't accept that that's the way it has to be. I think the social media companies can do more. I've spoken about that. We've got the online harms bill that's coming into Parliament, again, that Matt should be around for, because it's really important legislation.
When Twitter were approached by the BBC, they didn't put anyone forward. They didn't have anything to say.
Well, again, I think it's really important that they can have algorithms that can pick up, that's why they've done the research, they can pick up where this abuse is, and they shouldn't be allowing it to happen. You know, a lot of the time, people that say things, you know, there's been people that have been convicted for things they've said about me, and in their witness statement, when they've spoken at court about what they've said, they've said, I really didn't mean it. I didn't think that she'd see it, or...
I'm sure that
they
is the case.
don't... If they were in person in front of me, they wouldn't say those things.
And that's the worrying thing, isn't it? But just very finally, just going back to Matt very quickly, he wants to turn public perception of him around quite clearly. That is the sort of reason for him being in there. Can he do that?
Yes, well, he couldn't be, I'm sure Angela and I will agree, he couldn't be more unpopular than he is now. So either he'll come out as unpopular, or actually he'll redeem himself a bit. He probably will do that. I completely agree with Angela. There's absolutely no place in politics for the kind of threats that she and others have got. I used to get them too. It's a great shame that we've got such a dangerous political system. If Matt does come out slightly redeeming himself, I think that's a good thing, whether you agree with him being in there or not. He's a human being. He's made human mistakes, very big ones as well, but he's not the first person to do that. And as a friend, I just hope that to some extent he actually it does show himself to be a human being and some humility. If he's not humble, this isn't going to work. If he is, maybe even Angela will think it's not so bad. But Angela, I will be voting for trials for him. I hope you do too. I'd like to see himself.
I will, but voting for trials for him and, you know, having political debate is one thing, but abuse definitely not. He shouldn't receive abuse as a human being, and he definitely shouldn't receive abuse.
Yeah.
Although he is probably going to end up doing every single trial.
Well, he probably will. He should get plenty of spiders and snakes, but not online abuse.
Well, I mean, in that clip, there was a little squeal there.
Yeah, there was a squeal.
That was the
shape of things to come.
Tiny little squeal there. So there you go.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much
good to talk
indeed.
to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.